A young boy breaks into a cop's house to uncover what he's locked in his basement. The film opens with Davey, a 15-year-old paperboy from his neighborhood. He stops at his neighbor Mackie's place to drop off the newspaper. On the front page, there is news of a missing boy from their town. Mackie shows up to get his newspaper, so Davey asks for his pay. Mackie invites him inside his place to lift some heavy junk in order to make some extra money. Davey takes the offer and waits until Mackie brings his money. Mackie's police badge and gun reveal he's a cop. Now, Mackie takes Davey to the basement with a bulky piece of furniture. Downstairs, Davey notices a door with a padlock on it. When Mackie inquires and finds out from Davey his age, he freakishly desires that Davey stay the same age forever. The following night, he spies on Mackie out of suspicion and spots a red-haired young boy in his lounge with Mackie. His friends, Woody and Eats, surprise him and take him back to their treehouse to talk about the women they desire. Just when Davey tries to shed light on the missing boys from their town, his friends start the mockery by reminding him of his old conspiracies that never turned out to be true. The following night, Davey's mother comes to check up on him and finds him reading a conspiracy novel, so she takes it away. The next morning, he picks up the trash for his news reporter dad and goes to hang out with his friends, where they spot the breathtaker Nikki. When Davey returns, he finds out from his father at supper that Nikki's parents are getting divorced. The same night, Davey attends his father's call from the other end of the line and overhears his company wanting his father to cover the report of the man who has anonymously contacted the cops and confessed to killing the young boys that are going missing. When Davey rushes to the walkie-talkie to break this news to his friend, they tell him to watch the news on TV. Davey comes downstairs, where his mother is already watching the news. According to the police commissioner, the anonymous man has baffled them with the most apt details about the missing kids and has confessed to killing 13 young boys and 2 adults. Davey unites with his friends in his room to conspire about the killer, but ends up watching Nikki get undressed. Up next, Faraday and Davey try to find any leads on the killer in his school library, but find nothing. That evening, the boys visit Sammy's place, a boy who's been missing for some days. The friends return after not finding any promising leads. The next morning, when Danny pours milk into his glass during breakfast, he sees the same boy's missing poster on his milk carton that he saw at Mackie's place a few weeks ago. He shares this news with his friends and holds Mackie as a prime suspect since he's a cop who can get away with anything. Their obsession to stalk Mackie solidifies when Eats reveals that Kyle from the hardware store told him that Mackie buys 100 pounds of dirt from the hardware store every weekend for his garden. Now, the friends stalk Mackie and write down details of his departure and return time. When Mackie goes for a run at night, the friends go through his trash cans but find no solid evidence. Later, Nikki barges into Davey's house when his parents are out. She goes to Davey's room and stands by the window to confirm that her room can be clearly seen from Davey's windows. She breaks the news of her leaving town and tries to give Davey a goodbye kiss, but his parents come home early, so she sneaks out the window. That night, the killer hunts down another young boy on the street. The next morning, Davey gets Woody to steal his mother's car to tail Mackie. They witness Mackie buying and loading heavy bags of dirt and gardening tools from the hardware store, so they assume he buries the bodies in his backyard. That day, they are pulled over by a cop, who turns out to be Woody's mother's church buddy, who lets them leave. The following night, while keeping an eye on Mackie, Davey finds Nikki outside his window, waiting for him. The two flee to the riverside, where Nikki vents about her parents' divorce, and Davey spills how he suspects Mackie is the killer. Nikki politely tells him to back off and stay out of trouble. The next day, we see Mackie giving some popsicles to the young kids who are playing in front of his house. Subsequently, the boys stop doubting Mackie, so Davey takes them to Sammy's house, where they cross paths with Nikki, who is there to feed Sammy's cats in exchange for money. She confirms that Sammy and his parents have gone on a trip. On their way back, they decide to plant one of their walkie-talkies near Mackie's bedroom window and end up spotting bloodstains on his shirt while he's dealing with bleach. At last, Mackie catches them spying on him, so they run away. The next morning, Davey has trouble picking up signals from the walkie-talkies, so he goes over to Mackie's place to see if the signals work within a closer radius. Mackie catches him once again, so Davey nicely covers up for the last night. claiming he was playing manhunt with his friends. Mackie takes him into his backyard to pay him for the newspaper. There, Davey witnesses a human-sized ditch filled with dirt he earlier bought from the hardware store. The following night, Davey spies on Mackie, only to find out that Mackie is spying on him back. Davey scares away, but when he takes another peek, he finds his walkie-talkie placed in Mackie's window, as if he wanted Davey to see it. Davey tells this to his friends and comes up with another plan. The gang splits up when Mackie goes for a run that night. Faraday and Woody tail Mackie. Davey and Eats walk into Mackie's backyard to dig the ditch. Faraday and Woody discover a shocking twist as they watch Mackie visit his secret storage unit. Faraday sends Woody to see under the shutters, where he takes a peek at bags of dirt and sodium hydroxide. The boys successfully flee before Mackie takes out his car from a storage unit and speeds away. The boys try to contact Davey and Eats, but they're too busy digging the ditch. When they don't find anything in there, they pick the shed lock and find the missing boy's shirt with bloodstains on it. The boys unite and share their information. Having hardcore evidence against Mackie, they take the matter to Davey's parents, who get upset and take the kids to Mackie to apologize. Davey shows Mackie the shirt of the missing boy. Mackie covers it up, saying the boy is his nephew, Jamie, who had come to help him with some stuff. While hammering the nail, he got hurt and got blood on his shirt. He laughs about the situation and plays cool in front of Davey's father. After this, Davey's friends decide to back out. The father also sends them back home and grounds Davey, but he sneaks out to see Nikki when they leave the house that night. Nikki once again tells him to stay out of trouble, but Davey is determined to expose Mackie. The next morning, Mackie shows up at Davey's doorstep and initiates a friendly chit-chat to look cool. Davey asks him to dial Jamie's number to confirm he's alive. Mackie wants to come in, but Davey extends the phone cord and gives him the telephone on the doorstep. Mackie dials a number, but no one responds. When he leaves, Davey calls the operator to tell him the last dialed number. When he writes it down on his board, he becomes startled when it matches Mackie's house number that Davey's mother has written in the emergency contact lists on the same board. He gathers his friends in his room and tells them about the number situation. Soon, his mother shows up and calls him down to watch the news, in which Mackie takes all the credit for arresting a man he accuses of being the serial killer. While the mother and his friends think Mackie is a hero, Davey comes up with a final plan to bust Mackie and convinces his friends to join in. The next day, when everyone attends the Bay Festival, Davey sends Faraday there to keep an eye on him and steals his father's camera from his van with Woody. When they break into Mackie's house through the window, Nikki joins them, surprisingly. While Davey decides to go down the basement, Faraday calls on the walkie-talkie to call off the plan since he is watching Mackie and the cops planting flowers at the festival, which explains the dirt and shovels. Davey doesn't stop and goes down to the basement anyway. While the camera is recording everything, Davey picks the secret room's lock and finds pictures of all the victims framed inside the room. When they open the bathroom, they discover a kid's corpse decomposing in sodium hydroxide and the last missing victim tied up, taking his last breath. They rescue him and show the recording to the cops alongside their parents. The cops claim Davey is a hero and run to catch Mackie. Nikki kisses Davey after the event has brought her parents closer. At home, Woody crashes at Davey's place and watches the cops search for Mackie, who is loose. That night, Mackie spawns from Davey's attic and kidnaps the kids. He takes them to an isolated island in his car and makes them run away so he can chase them. The kids find a pile of his victims' corpses diluting in sodium hydroxide. Davey creates a diversion so Woody can get back to the car, but Mackie outsmarts them. He cuts Davey's ankles and runs to kill Woody. He slits his throat and catches Davey when he shows up near the car. He lashes out at Davey like a maniac and punishes him by letting him go so that he can feel the looming threat of Mackie showing up to kill him at any time. With an injured ankle, Davey makes it to the road of the island, while all the parents volunteer with the police to search them in the woods. An old man finds Davey fallen on the road, so he takes him to the hospital, from where his parents take him home with a sense of relief. With infinite guilt, he continues to be a paperboy, while still considering suburbs to be the most crazy places to ever exist. The movie ends here. I hope you liked the story recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you for being a part of Black's Movie Recaps. If these tales of mystery and intrigue sent shivers down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Black's Movie Recap for more bone-chilling narratives. Stay tuned, and until next time, stay captivated.